to, say, a big sports bar on game day. Or maybe it's a huge conference room, or even someone's really tricked out home theater setup.
Yeah, screens everywhere.
Exactly. Multiple screens, tons of video sources. You've got maybe cable boxes, game consoles, media players, all that stuff. The challenge is, how do you get any one of those sources playing on any specific screen, like right now, without any fuss?
Yeah. That's the classic problem, isn't it? And that's exactly what high-def video distribution tech is built for.
And that's what we're digging into today. We're doing a deep dive on a really powerful bit of kit designed for exactly this. The WolfPack 1080p 16x16 HDMI Matrix Switch.
And this one comes with the 16 separate HDMI balloons, too, which is key.
Right. So our mission today is basically to unpack what this thing is, how it actually works, what makes it special, and why it's so vital for managing video on a bigger scale.
Yeah, giving you the essentials on how it works and where you'd actually use it.
So let's start with that core idea, the matrix switch. It's not just a splitter, right? Or like a simple A/B switch. What's the big difference?
That's a really good place to start because, yeah, people mix those up. A splitter just, mirrors one source to multiple screens.
Yeah.
And a basic switch just lets you pick one input for one output. A matrix switcher, like this WolfPack one, is like the central command center. It lets any of its 16 HDMI inputs go to any of its 16 HDMI outputs. At the same time,
Any combination.
any combination, one-to-one, one-to-all, input 2 to output 5, while input 7 goes to output 3. You get the idea. Total flexibility.
Okay, that's simultaneous independent routing. That sounds like the real power here. And it supports up to 1080p. That's still the main standard for lots of places, yeah.
Absolutely. Handles 1080p perfectly, plus the other standards like 720p 1080i, even 480pi. And crucially, it's HDMI 1.4 and HDCP 1.4 compliant. All inputs, all outputs.
And that HDCP part, the copy protection, that's essential, right?
Yeah.
Especially for commercial places like sports bars showing games or movies.
Oh, completely non-negotiable. Without that HDCP handshake, premium content just won't play. You get a blank screen. Errors. It's vital.
Gotcha. And the audio support looks pretty robust, too. We're talking 7.1 channel digital audio, like Dolby True HD, DTS HD master audio.
Yep, all the big ones. LPCM 7.1, Dolby Digital Plus, DTS, AC3, even DSD.
So for that sports bar example, what does that really mean? Is it just louder?
Well, it can be louder, but it's more about the quality and immersion. You get the full surround sound experience, the clear commentary, just like it was intended.
Right.
And importantly, that high-quality audio travels perfectly with the video, which brings us to signal integrity, actually. That's another big plus here.
Okay.
The touch time is fast, like around 2 seconds. But the cool part is what it does to the signal as it passes through. It basically cleans it up.
Cleans it up. How?
It retimes the signal, compensates the levels, fixes any phase errors, gets rid of data jitter. Think of it like giving the HDMI signal a refresh. So even over longer cable runs or through multiple connections where signals usually degrade, this thing outputs a regenerated, basically perfect signal. No flickering, no sparkles, just clean picture and sound.
That's huge, especially for those big installs where cables get long, which kind of leads perfectly into the next piece, the balloons. This package comes with 16 sets.
Exactly. 16 pairs of 1080p HDMI balloons. You get the transmitter, the TX unit, and the receiver, the RX unit, for each of the 16 outputs.
So what do these balloons actually do? Why are they included?
They solve the distance problem. Standard HDMI cables get flaky after, maybe 50 feet or sometimes less, especially at 1080p.
Right.
These balloons let you send that 1080p HDMI signal up to 150 feet using just a single standard CT6 network cable.
Wow. Okay. 150 feet over cheap network cable instead of expensive long HDMI.
Yeah.
That's a big deal for installation.
Massive, especially when your displays are scattered far away from where the matrix switch lives.
And I saw something about POC power over cable. What's that about?
Yeah, that's super convenient. It means only the transmitter unit, the TX, the one plugged into the matrix, needs its power adapter.
So the receiver unit at the TV end gets its power through the CT6 cable.
Exactly. No need for power outlets behind every single TV. Makes wiring much, much cleaner at the display location.
Nice. And they have an HDMI loop out on the transmitter too. What's that for?
That's handy if you need a local monitor right near the matrix switch itself, maybe for testing or just a confidence monitor. You can loop the HDMI signal out right there before it goes over the CT6.
Okay. And mounting plates included. Anything else on the balloons?
Yeah, one thing to note, the package includes IR cables, like for remote control pass-through, but they actually can't be used with this specific matrix model, so just be aware of that.
Good to know. Okay, so we've got this powerful box routing pristine signals over long distances
Yeah.
using these balloons. But how easy is it to actually control the thing?
Right, because all that power isn't much good if it's a nightmare to operate day to day. And that's another area where the system is pretty flexible.
So what are the options? Can I just walk up to it?
Yep. Front panel buttons, there are push-in buttons right on the unit, and it has a little two-line display so you can see what's routed where. Pretty straightforward for direct access.
Okay, basic stuff. What else?
Comes with a standard IR remote control too, so you can control it from across the room, line of sight.
Uh-huh. And for more, like, integrated setups.
That's where it gets interesting. You've got RS-232 serial control, that's the classic DE9 connector for automation systems, and also Ethernet control, TCP/IP, via a standard RJ45 network port.
Network control opens up a lot of possibilities, right? Apps and stuff.
Totally. It comes with free control software, a Web GUI you access through your browser, plus dedicated apps for Android and iPad.
An iPad app. I saw something about a specific sports bar tablet control system.
Yeah, the WolfPad system. That sounds pretty slick for that kind of environment. The idea is you can manage, say, changing DirecTV channels and sending them to all 16 TVs or specific groups of TVs right from one page on an iPad.
Okay, that sounds like a massive time saver for staff in a busy place.
Huge operational win, yeah. Instead of juggling dozens of remotes, it's all visual on one tablet.
And what about integrating with the big control systems, like Crestron or Control4?
So there are optional pre-written drivers available for some of the big names. Crestron, URC, Elon, Control4 makes integration easier if you're using one of those platforms.
But what if you're using something else, or you're an AV pro who likes to write their own code?
They've thought of that too. The manufacturer provides the RS-232 command structure. It seems pretty simple, actually. Like the example they give is 8x1 and 2 and 5. That means route input 8 to output 1, output 2, and output 5. Then just send a period.
Simple command string. Does it talk back?
Yep, it sends back OK when it gets a valid command, which is really helpful for debugging your code. You know it received it correctly.
Okay, that's good. Now, there's an important clarification here for listeners, right?
Yeah.
About support for these third-party drivers.
Yeah, this is key. While the RS-232 commands themselves are supported and warranted by the manufacturer, HDTV Supply, they aren't certified by Crestron, Control4, etc. So they can't really help you troubleshoot the specific code written for those third-party systems.
Makes sense. They guarantee their hardware and its direct commands work, but the custom integration code is on the integrator or the third-party driver provider.
Exactly. But they do offer a really interesting budget tip related to this.
Oh, yeah?
If you're an end user looking at a whole house system and the quotes seem really high, they suggest maybe getting a quote for just the hardware, like this Matrix, directly from HDTV Supply.
Okay.
And then getting a separate quote from a control system programmer or reseller just for the custom programming and installation labor.
Ah, breaking it down. So you source the hardware, possibly cheaper, and then pay specifically for the integration expertise.
Right. They suggest it could save you potentially, even $1,000 or more on bigger systems compared to a single bundled quote. Something to consider.
That's a really practical tip.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, shifting gears slightly, but still critical for making everything play nicely together. EDID management. What is EDID, and why should we care?
Oh, man. EDID, Extended Display Identification Data. It's basically the way your TV or projector tells the source device, like your cable box or Blu-ray player, what it can handle.
Their capabilities it has.
Yeah.
Like resolution, audio formats.
Exactly. What resolutions it supports, what kind of audio it can process, stuff like that. And it matters because, well, HDMI sources and displays can have very different ideas about what they can do.
Right, not all TVs are the same.
Not at all.
Oh.
And if there's a mismatch or if the source device gets confused, the default behavior is often to output the lowest common denominator, maybe 720p stereo, just to make sure something shows up.
Which might not look great on a nice 1080p screen.
Or worse, you can get flashing screens, black screens, all sorts of weirdness, especially with matrix switchers that are trying to constantly adapt. It can be a real headache.
The dreaded HDMI handshake issues.
Precisely. So this WolfPack switch has a dedicated EDID learning function. You can basically tell the matrix to learn the ED from one specific display. Usually, you pick the one with the lowest capabilities among your connected screens.
Okay, why the lowest?
So that the matrix tells all the source devices to output a signal that every single display connected can definitely handle. It forces compatibility across the board.
Ah, so instead of dynamic guessing causing problems, you set a known compatible standard based on your least capable display.
Exactly. It avoids all that flashing and ensures every screen gets a stable picture it can actually display properly. They mention it supports like 23 different EDID formats you can choose from or learn, including built-in ones. It really helps smooth out installations.
That sounds incredibly useful for installers, probably saves hours of troubleshooting.
Absolutely. EDID problems are notorious.
So pulling back again, where do we actually see these kinds of switches being used? What are the typical applications?
Well, the list is pretty long, as you might expect, given the flexibility. The source material mentions all the obvious ones.
Like the sports bars we talked about.
Yeah, sports bars, restaurants, casinos, gentlemen's clubs, places with lots of TVs showing different things. Also bowling alleys, fitness centers, malls, even places of worship.
Wow. Okay. What else?
Data centers, maybe, for monitoring multiple servers, big gaming rooms, nail salons, country clubs, factories with information displays, conference rooms, schools.
And high-end home theaters too, right?
Definitely. Anywhere you have multiple sources and multiple displays needing sophisticated routing. Users apparently often pick this model because it just packs in a lot of features compared to competitors in its class.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Let's talk practical details. Physical size, noise.
It's designed pretty well for installs. It's a standard 1U rack mount size, comes with the rack ears, so it fits neatly into equipment racks.
And noise. Is there a fan?
That's a big plus. No fan. It's completely silent operation, which is great if it needs to be located anywhere near people, not locked away in a noisy closet.
Definitely a bonus.
Yeah.
And it's a metal enclosure.
Yep. Solid metal casing, built to last.
Anything else cool feature-wise? Scene saving.
Yeah, it has 10 memory presets, or scenes, so you can pre-configure different routing setups like Scene 1 is game day, Scene 2 is music video night, Scene 3 is presentation mode, whatever you need.
And recall them instantly.
Exactly. Push a button, and it instantly switches all the inputs and outputs to match that saved configuration. Super handy for quick changes.
Okay, so when you buy this, what's actually in the box?
You get the main 16x16 HDMI Matrix Switcher unit itself, naturally, the DC power supply, which is 12 volts, 5 amps, the little IR remote control, a user manual, and importantly, all 16 of those HDMI extender sets. That's 16 transmitter units, TX, and 16 receiver units, or X. So you're fully equipped for long-distance runs on all outputs right away.
Good to know it's a complete package for the extension part. And the company, HDTV Supply, they've been around a while.
Yeah, seems like it. The source says they were established back in 2002, so over 20 years in the audio-video business. They're also listed as an hdbase.org approved adopter, which relates to signal extension technology.
And they offer support if needed.
Yep. They provide contact numbers like 833-WolfPack, which is 833-965-3722, and email support for help or suggestions. Good to know there's backing for the product.
Okay, so let's wrap this up. We've taken a pretty deep dive into this WolfPack 16x16 HDMI Matrix Switch.
We have indeed.
And what really stands out is its power to just tame that complexity of routing lots of video sources to lots of screens.
Right. It simplifies things dramatically, plus the signal quality aspect that regeneration ensures a perfect picture.
And the long-distance reach, thanks to those included balloons using simple CT6 cable. That's huge.
Don't forget the silent operation, the advanced ED management to kill those compatibility headaches, and all the control options from simple buttons to apps and system integration.
It really seems like a comprehensive solution for demanding environments. Delivers that flawless HDMI signal reliably.
So thinking beyond just the tech specs, we've seen how this transforms managing HD content across multiple spaces. It makes you wonder, right? This level of control, once just for big commercial places, how might it keep evolving?
You mean becoming more accessible?
Yeah, maybe more common in, say, really advanced home setups, or maybe changing how we think about multi-room learning environments in schools or training centers.
Interesting. What kind of new possibilities open up when you can just seamlessly get high-quality video reliably anywhere you can stick a screen?
Exactly. What could you do if that barrier of complex, unreliable distribution just disappears?
Huh?
Something to think about.